if you don't know what the problems are you're being faced with, it's often quite difficult, isn't it, Caroline, for people to know what corrective action to take?
Yeah, if the body is given the correct nutritional tools, the body will do it.
It's not even all about solutions for safely detoxing our bodies from lots of interventions that we're going to call. Most importantly, that these solutions really are working, because
I mean, today's topic is really about looking under the microscope, because I get to see the hidden world that a lot of people don't see. So we may be told to take certain nutrients and do certain things, but I get to see the consequence of this under the microscope. So I think it just takes it one step further, so people can understand that, you know, if we're doing the work like this, then they'll probably be more inclined to maybe take that supplement or make that lifestyle change. And this is what I really wanted to show people today. So I just want to kick off with, some people have probably already seen parts of this presentation elsewhere, but obviously a lot of your viewers may not have done, Catherine. So I'm just going to recap over this antibiotic capsule experiment that I did.
Brilliant.
So when we're talking about being discerning about what we put in our body, I saw online that somebody said that the outside of a antibiotic capsule was magnetic. And that sort of piqued my interest. So this particular antibiotic is fluoxetine. And I actually had some in a medical cabinet that was from 2013. So I managed to replicate the study. I opened up this capsule, and this is the antibiotic powder. And I put the magnet up to the black side of the capsule, and boom, you can see that the capsule latched onto the magnet. And if you look in the ingredients of the antibiotic capsule, it doesn't say anything about any magnetized particles. So I was very intrigued, and the experiment someone had done online was they dissolved the capsule in some water, which I did into some distilled water, and they put the magnet up to the glass, and they were able to see these little black particles appear. They were magnetized, and they had quite a pull to the magnet. So I did the same. So I dissolved the capsule, and you can see that once it's dissolved in this distilled water, it completely disappears. You would think it's, you know, it's just opaque water, there's nothing there. But the minute you put a magnet up to the side of the glass, then all these little black particles appeared.
Wow.
This is it slightly up close. So at that point, you know, lucky me, I've got a microscope. I was intrigued to put this substance under the microscope to take a look at maybe, you know, what this is, what we will find. And you can see there's they come together in a group, but there's little separate particles. So the only way to actually get this substance out of the water, because the minute you try and get it out with a pipette, it disappears. So I had to literally get this black substance onto the, you know, put the magnet inside the glass, and this sort of black goo jumped up onto it. And then I had a little trouble at getting that goo off the magnet onto the slide, which I did, and I added some of the opaque water onto it just so we can have a bit of movement under the slides, to see what it was going to do. And the first picture that came up, which was quite incredible really, was this.
Oh,
now,
yes.
Yeah, it was like an alien face, and it just completely shocked me as soon as I don't know what I was expecting to see, but that was the first thing that showed itself to me. And I always say that anything that's you know, benevolent always looks so pretty under the microscope. Anything malevolent or coming from pharma doesn't, and which I'll come on to show you a little bit later. So I kind of wasn't, you know, I was shocked but not surprised. And there was another substance. I sort of zoomed out, and then I found these little particles. I'm not playing the videos because when I show the videos on these type of talks, things start to freeze. So, yeah. But these little particles were moved. So I'd put the magnet above the slide, which is under the microscope, and I'd go out about 8 inches, and these particles would be very, you know, attracted to the magnet still, and they would move. And you think about how highly magnetized these tiny little particles are that are going inside your body, that a magnet 8 inches away is still affecting it. And that kind of blew my mind as well. So when I did some research into what these particles are, we call it here iron oxides, magnetized nanoparticles. And pharmaceutical companies, they put these iron oxide magnetized nanoparticles into product because they say it drives product into cell better. This is what they say. But if you look at this, tons of research and lots of papers on PubMed, for example, that say that iron oxide magnetized nanoparticles actually coagulate blood, and they have a lot of issues around them. So they're not great for the blood circulation or for your health really going forward. So let's go on to some solutions. So there's a product I've been working with called Clean Slate, which is a powerful zeolite product. Zeolites go around the body cleaning heavy metals from the cells. And we've known this for many, many, many years. And there are many zeolite products out there, but the beauty of Clean Slate is that it's produced by a company whose formulator used to work in pharmaceuticals, and now she's jumped to nutraceuticals. So she knows how to get product into cell, which is what we were discussing earlier, but in the correct way. So the way she's developed her zeolite product is that it's through her proprietary blend. She's been able to get that zeolite into cell, because a lot of the time it goes around just cleaning up tissue, but her product actually gets into the cell, picks out heavy metals and takes them away. And it's such an easy way to get heavy metals out of your body, because as a naturopath over the years, if somebody's tested positive for heavy metals, we would put them on a protocol which is called DMSA protocol. But the DMSA actually pulls out minerals, and it's not guaranteed that, as well as heavy metals, but it's not guaranteed it's going to be pulled out the body. Those heavy metals could dislodge somewhere else if you're not adding in chelating agents. So the whole process could take about 2 to 3 months, and the client can become quite depleted if they're not re-inoculating with minerals and they're not using the chelating agents. So it's quite a palaver, really. But with Clean Slate, I've done my own tests with it. So clients who've tested positive for heavy metals, I just put them on the Clean Slate, and they just take 5 to 10 drops a day, and that's it, because the Clean Slate also has the minerals in it. So when it's displacing or removing these heavy metals, the minerals are being replaced as well, because that's getting into cell as well. So it's just a beautiful product and so easy to take. And then retesting my clients again, sort of 6 to 8 weeks later, the heavy metal load is coming down. So for me, I can vouch for this product, that it works to bring out these heavy metals, which are affecting, all of us, basically. When I was doing the experiment with the antibiotic, I thought, great, now I've got a medium in which to put Clean Slate to the test another way. So I dissolved another capsule, half capsule, and I put Clean Slate in with the water this time. And I left it for 48 hours. And when I went back to it, those magnetized particles, the magnetism had completely, virtually dropped. So they weren't coming up to the magnet. So the Clean Slate had neutralized the positive charge of those particles. So I thought, wow, imagine this in your body, what it would be doing, be helping to pull it out, through the kidneys and out. This is the mechanism of Clean Slate or zeolites through the urine. And I put that solution under the microscope with the Clean Slate in with the nanoparticles, and I wanted to find one of the crystals latched onto one of these iron oxide magnetized nanoparticles, which I did, and this is the picture of that. So you can see the Saint Germain hue of the crystal, and you can see the iron oxide magnetized nanoparticle latched on there, right? So I was like, wow, this is brilliant. So when just go on to the blood for a bit. So when we're looking at blood, red blood cells particularly, we want them to be roughly the same shape and size. We want them to be lovely and round. We want them to have a beautiful membrane edge, because the membrane is really important for transporting oxygen and nutrients and taking away waste products. You know, it has a function. So we need it to be healthy for us. And this is kind of a good picture of healthy blood. It's my blood, actually. But this is how our blood should look. And when we're talking about the interventions that people have had, I had a client come to me after he'd had a shot, and his upper arm was very swollen, very red, and he was feeling lousy. And that's obviously why he came to me. So I said to him, do you mind if I just take a sample from your arm? Because I'd love to see what your red blood cells are doing. So I took a sample from his arm, and that's what we saw. So basically, there's a toxic soup going on there because he's got inflammation, which is going to affect the red blood cells. So you can see that those membrane edges are now puckering. They're being affected by the toxicity. Red blood cells' job is to deliver oxygen and nutrients to tissue and take away waste products. So they're not going to be working efficiently for you. And it's he was having headaches, and he just felt very lousy. So I took a peripheral blood sample as well, and this was his blood at the periphery. Sorry, here we go. So you can see the membranes are still affected. It takes 1 minute for a red blood cell to travel around the body. So to just to say, oh, it's just inflamed at that site, it's not true. The blood's circulating. So, it's his whole body is being affected by what was put into his arm, more or less straight away.
And then what you do with your work is you really, examine everything in such a level of detail, microscopic level of detail, so that you can really see what is happening. And most importantly, that these solutions really are working, because I've got no problem with the placebo effect. I mean, fantastic, let's all get some placebo effect into us. But equally, knowing that when you have got these health challenges, and we will all be faced with them, not just from the intervention, as you've shown, we're all bombarded, and our animals, with heavy metals, pollutants, stresses. We're going to be talking in a different talk on EMF, etc. But the great thing is when you understand that, then you can take this corrective action, and then once you've got your body back in balance, preventative action to stop these problems occurring. So I'm so appreciative of seeing these pictures. They really do sum up what's happening brilliantly.
Product which I've looked at under the microscope, and which I've tried myself, is something called redox signaling molecules. And online there's a really good video. You've probably got that video, Christine, because I know that, sorry, Catherine, because I know that you sell it as well.
I love it. I love both the Roots and the Asea. They're just foundational for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And basically it's like our cells, we're looking at the red blood cell. I mean, they are basically just like a salty solutions or saline stack with what we call organelles inside, like they're micro organs. So we think about our body, and we have the liver and the kidneys, etc., and the heart. Well, in our cells, we have organelles, like tiny organs, like the mitochondria, for example. And the mitochondria produce what's called these redox signaling molecules, which go out and they basically heal the body. They find anything that's not working correctly in the body, and they heal it. And as a child, we produce so many of these redox signaling molecules just so easily, in abundance, because everything's working so efficiently. And this is why when kids fall over, they cut themselves, they bruise themselves, it just heals very, very quickly. But the older we get, again, a bit like our reducing levels of NAD, the redox signaling molecules fall out the sky. So with this particular product, this is amazing, because it's not actually even like giving your body a molecule where then the body has to produce something to protect itself. It's actually going into your body, and it's just working straight away for you, as your mitochondria would produce these redox signaling molecules. So I just actually love this product. I looked at this under the microscope as well. This was what the redox signaling molecules look like under the microscope. Yeah, they're really pretty, so you can see them. And yeah, I feel like it's just another way that people can protect themselves going forward, because as the body gets older, the body does age, and you know, we are bombarded more than ever right now with toxicity around us. So it's just another intervention that other people can look at. I don't know if you wanted to just talk more on the redox signaling molecules.
Yeah, I've just been blown away with the results. I mean, I work with a whole range of natural products because different people have different challenges, different animals have different challenges, and we're all drawn to different things as well. But I think the beauty of both of these is, as you said, with the redox signaling molecules, you are literally putting back something that the body makes day in, day out, but less efficiently as our bodies get older or as we get more challenges put upon us. So the thing I love about this is it's absolutely impossible for anyone to be allergic to it or for it to interfere with any other medications you're on, because this is inside all our bodies anyway. They've just discovered an amazing way to stabilize it. So, you know, safety is always first, and a lot of people have that concern about what's going to interact with what, and you can know that you're very, very safe with this. We'd love to hear what you think about this, and please do share this widely for if you've got people that are concerned from any aspects of their health, not just from the current interventions, from any aspects, because the beauty of this is there's solutions out there for you. And let's all, you know, when we look after and we're feeling vibrant in our physical bodies, everything else goes better for us. So Caroline, you are an absolute star. I loved that. Every time I listen to you, I learn more. Your visual presentations of it all are absolutely brilliant. So thank you so much for putting all the effort you've done. This takes a long while to put presentations like this together. So I really, really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on. It's lovely to be able to share my work and discoveries. You know, it's for everybody. So just so happy that you allowed me on your channel so more people can learn.
And we